Hey there, are you thinking about buying a house, selling one, or just interested in the equity that you have in your current house and how the local economy and the local housing market might be affecting that? Well, hopefully I can help you out. My name is Derek Schwinn, local real estate professional here with Keller Williams Consultants Realty here in Marysville, Ohio. And I'm here to talk about some stats and facts and my opinions based on the numbers that have come out from the January housing update. So buckle in and come take a ride with me. Let's see what we can find out. So the two big things to start off with, it's an election year, and big experts are saying this is the year of the fives. 5 million houses to sell and 5% interest rates. Well, in 2023, 4.1 million houses sold in the U.S. And then they're projecting, the National Association of Realtors is projecting 4.71 this year. I'm not an expert when it comes to this level of sophistication, so I can't confirm that or deny that. But in my opinion, it sounds like those that are hyping things up want more houses to sell, and those that are a little more realistic and a little more straightforward aren't always saying that. As far as the 5% interest rates, I think the same goes there. With an election year, the thought process is that the incumbent president is going to push rates down and pressure the Fed to push rates down, which the rates are supposed to come down according to the Fed a little bit this year, but it sounds like they're not going to get into the fives until later this year. So one of the biggest things I think to put out there if you're interested in making a move and you're waiting for rates to come down, I'm not sure how many houses you're going to miss out on between now and then. And if prices go up, those prices are locked in for the length of your mortgage, your rate. Yeah, it can be negotiated with refinances if that shoe fits for you. So to get to the actual numbers, if you're a numbers nerd, I am not. So I will do the best I can at regurgitating these and then give you my opinion based on what I've experienced in the market along with these numbers. So as far as Marysville, Ohio, the school district, 43040 zip code is what I like to look at as kind of a heartbeat of the local area and where I like to focus. New listings, we had 23 new listings, 22 active listings on average through the month of January, 30 pending, and 18 sold. So January is traditionally the slowest month, or one of the slowest months between December and January. People are busy for the holidays for December, so that means probably not as many things going into contract. So not as many things closing. Obviously, with 18 closing, that's down a bit. So month over month, new listings were up 10%. Active listings down 19%. Pending was up 20%, which again, December being a slow month, more people are going to be active in January than December. And then 49% fewer homes sold in January than December. So that's kind of counterintuitive to what I was just saying, but that's the numbers. As far as year over year, this year compared to last year, new listings were down 21%. Active listings up 22%, pending down 32%, sold down 25%. If you're not a numbers nerd like me, this stuff's kind of confusing. Why are some month over month up and some year over year down, or the same one down? It's hard to read through all of that, isn't it? But that's why we're here to talk. So usually this is the time of the year where things can start to take off. So for current, today is February 12th. So for the same period in January compared to the same period in February, new listings is up 71%. So at least we're heading in the right direction, that we're getting more options and more activity for those of you that want to transact. So as far as the dollar figures, average sales price was up 5% month over month and up 8% year over year to $486,000. It's not too bad. So in comparison, what are they actually selling for? $357,000, 18% lower than December, 3% higher than last year. So year over year, things are moving up. The list price to sales price, how much things are actually listing for, then how much do they actually sell for? 99%, up 3% from December, up 1% from last year. So doing pretty good. So this is kind of a nice generic number to take with you if you're looking all over the community or in different communities, comparing apples to apples, so to speak. Price per square foot, $185 a square foot is what things were closing for in the month of January. That's down 5% from the month before and up 13% from last year. Again, I've said this in the past. I've always wanted to do some sort of study to see how that correlates to what's actually closing. And obviously, different houses are different sizes, so that ratio is going to be a little different. Days on market, 44 days on average for things in the month of January to go into contract. So that's up 42% from December and up 214% from last year. So significantly different days on market. Absorption rate. So this is how many months of inventory do we have? It's been under 1 month there for a while, and now we're back to above 1 month. So 1.2 months right now. Currently in the month of February, it is 1.4 months is what we're tracking for. So inventory, months of inventory is up 52% month over month and 53% year over year. So there are more things to choose from, not by much, but there's a little bit more. Okay, so based on all of those numbers, what can we take from that? It seems like it's going to be pretty similar to last year. Not a ton of houses are going to sell, not a ton of opportunity. Prices, again, in general, are up 3 to 8%, depending on if you're looking at asking price or sold price. So prices are continuing to rise. I've heard it put that we're not going to see a depreciation of prices, but we're just going to see a slowdown in the appreciation of houses. So prices will still continue to climb a little bit like they have traditionally for years and years and years, but we're just not going to see the crash. So there's no evidence of a crash coming, especially here in Union County. So an interesting case scenario. I had a listing that I put up on the market last week. We had 6 offers. 4 of them were over asking price. 1 waived inspection. 1 had an appraisal gap coverage that if the appraisal came in short, they'd bring some extra money to the closing table. So there was definitely some competition there. Now, it was a unique situation. It was kind of a one-of-a-kind listing in this complex that doesn't come up very often. So, and it was a ranch, so those are hard to come by too. So it was a unique situation, but it definitely showed that there is still quite an appetite for, this was $220,000. And anything under $300,000 has some competition these days. That affordable price range is hard to come by. So there's still a fair bit moving fast there. Now above that, there's a fair bit. Again, asking price is higher than sold price. So not overpriced necessarily, but the higher price things usually take a little longer to get off the market. Some interesting points that I came across while looking up some information for this video. Of the listings that were actively on the market in the zip code, 6 were under 2 weeks on the market. The rest were over that, but they averaged about 60 days on the market if you took everything that was sitting on the market longer than 2 weeks. So as you're sitting down with your agent, if you're looking to sell, and they say the first couple of weeks are the most important, there's a reason, because if you put your best foot forward and you put a good price and a reasonable price out there, usually it doesn't take long to go into contract. But if you overstretch, it can take a while. So it's a whole different conversation we can have some other time if you want. So of those that actually were in contract, it was 36 days. So that was about the average to go into contract, and the things that are currently sitting on the market in contract. So new build, as far as giving you opportunities and how do we change this deficiency of not having enough houses, either a lot of people have to leave this community and give up some houses for some folks, or we need to build more houses, obviously, to satisfy the demand. Now, I like my small town. I'm not all for growing as much as we can and becoming the next Dublin. But just as a perspective to say how that's coming along. Right now, there are 6 active listings that are new builds on the market. And of the last 12 months, the things that have sold in the area, 50 houses that are new construction have sold in the last 12 months. So just to kind of give you perspective on things, to have a balanced market where it's not a buyer's market or seller's market, it's kind of in the middle, we need about 6 months of inventory. And again, currently we're at 1.4. Last month we were at 1.2. So if you take on average, I averaged it out over the last 12 months. I think it was 420 houses sold divided by 12 was 35 houses on average sell a month. And so to satisfy the demand that's out there, current demand, we would need 210 houses on the market every month to sell to keep up with having a balanced market. And in my opinion, for all of the people that want to be in Central Ohio or they want to be in Marysville, Union County area, if we satisfy the demand, it's going to grow. So even if we could put another 200 houses on the market at any given point continually, I think the demand's just going to grow. So anyway, if you're one of the many folks out there that I've had conversations with, or it's on your mind about affordable housing and how do we fix this, unfortunately, it's pretty far out of reach. At least I don't understand any other way to get to satisfying the demand and adjusting prices. Unfortunately, things are just not going to go back to the way they were. So if it's anything you're interested in talking about, I'd be happy to sit down and chat with you and brainstorm other ideas. But this is our future, I guess. So on another note, we do have a lot of apartments coming up, so that's going to help satisfy some demand. There's a few housing developments that are coming on. Medina Point's got, I think, 21 houses left in this phase. I talked to a sales rep out there. The development across from Bunsell is well on its way. Sorry, my light just turned off back here. So anyway, it's a big complicated situation going on, affordable housing and all of that. But if you're a current homeowner and you have equity in your house, your equity has continued to grow, and I don't see any reason it won't continue to grow. So if you have any questions, if you ever want to chat about any of these kind of things, or if you think I'm wrong and want to prove me wrong, love to listen to you, because I am not an expert when it comes to statistics. But I have been doing this for 10 years. Or no, tomorrow will be 11 years. So I do have some experience, some real world experience in what's going on, and a little bit of thoughts on where things are going. So if there's anything I can ever do for you, if you want to find a house you love, sell when you don't, or just love where you love a little bit more, hopefully I can help you out. Like this video if you did, subscribe if you haven't, and until next time, take care.